All right, here we go. This one is going to be another 357 SIG test. We're going to be testing the Winchester Ranger T series. So we do have our tan box versus black box. And this one was actually another donation from Mr. James. He sent us this tan box. So thank you again, buddy, for sending this stuff out so we can do a comparison and get these tests done. So this first one, let's see what this one looks like. Does have a nickel plated brass on it. And here is our black box. If you see this one, you can definitely tell the difference. There's just a little bit bigger hollow point cavity than that tan box. That tan box is an older generation, one of the first ones that they came out with after that black Talon. But both really good looking rounds, and we're going to be going out of the Glock 31 today. That is a full size 4.5-inch barrel. So we do have our 10% block and our jug backstop just in case we do get that pass through, and our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt. So like always, we'll set that chronograph up in front so hopefully get that impact velocity. We'll see what these things can do. Here we go. First up is the tan box, and these are both 125 grain. All right, here we go. We are stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. Looks like we got a pretty decent hit. All right, our impact velocity on that one was 1,436 feet per second. So definitely not too bad. That one usually is a little bit warmer than that black box, so it's a pretty good velocity there. So let's check that entry out. So it looks like we did come just a little bit left, but still looks like we got a good enough hit to make it in that jug. So it does look like we are leaking, so I think we made it through that first one, or into the first one at least. Check out that entry hole. Really good start pattern on that. And we'll look at the top first, like always. And there's a pretty nasty wound cavity on that one. All right, let's see that side view. Man, check that out. That is definitely impressive. Massive energy dump coming pretty much all the way through. It looks like it carried all the way through. It does look like it settled down around, let's get a measurement on that, around that 7-inch mark, but still, even after that, it was just carrying through, and it still looks pretty nasty. And this one went from the top to the bottom, sorry, other way, bottom to the top of this gel. So let's see if we can get a full measurement on this one. So basically the very bottom to the very top, that one is 3.5 inches. So that is a massive wound cavity. Tons of damage on that gel. Now let's see, it does look like we made it into that first one. And it looks like we actually stopped in that first one, so that is good. Because when we test this one in the jugs, we usually don't get any kind of expansion. So looks like this gel's doing really, really good. So next up, we're going to try that black box, and then we'll compare them both at the end. All right, here we go. Let's see how that black box Ranger T does. We are stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's check this one out. So it looks like our impact velocity was 1365. So that one is rated at 1350. So just above box velocity, but definitely not as spicy as that last one. All right, let's check it out from the top. Still looks like a pretty nasty cavity on that one. That one looks like it actually carried a little bit further. And we do have fragments in there. So let's see that entry hole. That is really good looking. Came in right there. Huge star pattern on that one. Spreading out. So let's check out this side view. Here we go. So once again, looks like it did pretty good. Doesn't look like we got as much damage as that other one, but still looking really, really good. Carried through quite far on this. Let's see. So right where it kind of settles down, about 7 inches, so about the same, but definitely not as wide. And this jug is leaking, so looks like we did get that full pass through. And this is only a 13-inch block, so we get a lot of pass-throughs on this. But let's see the measurements on this one. So from the very bottom to the top of that stretch cavity, we're just over 2.5. Actually right at 2.5, so that's not too bad. That last one was from top to bottom, I don't think it was 3.5, so about an inch difference, but definitely looks like a pretty nasty cavity on that. Looking really good. So what we're going to do now is we'll flip this block over so we can get that little bit clearer view, and then we're going to compare these rounds. All right, check these things out. It almost looks like, so actually this is our tan box, this one is our black box. And from this angle, it almost looks like that black box one is a little bit bigger. I don't know, they both did really, really good. So this side is that tan box. Nice permanent stretch cavity on that, carrying all the way through. And this one is our black box. Same thing. A lot of damage on there, a lot of tearing. So like we always do, we'll get that cross section later on when we get back to the house, so you guys can really see the damage on that, and we'll see what these rounds look like. All right, here we go. So the one on the left is that tan box, and the one on the right is that black box. So just from looking at them, you really can't tell much of a difference. They look identical. The one on the left did get a few of those petals that sheared off, and I believe the black box did too. They're just still kind of in the gel, but they really did good. So this one is a tan box. This petal's peeled back perfectly, really good looking. Uniform expansion on that. Nasty sharp petals or talons on those. And we do have our black box, and same thing on this one. This one wasn't going as fast, so it didn't like peel these down. Pretty much just peeled them nice and flush with that base. But nasty looking round right there. So it's good to see that we actually got some really good performance out of these. When I was testing them in the jugs, it was kind of hit and miss, and they really didn't care too much for that cotton, those 4 layers that I normally put on. But seems like in the gel they do really good, so it's good to see. But I will get our measurements and pictures and all that stuff like we normally do at the end. But there we go. That was 357 SIG tan box versus black box out of our full-size Glock 31. All right, so here's that cross section for the tan box. Huge split, huge sharp pattern. Coming in, just doing massive damage. Looking really, really good. Pretty impressive. That one was moving pretty good too. But we will cut this in half and show you a little bit more. All right, here's the top and bottom from those. And once again, huge stretch cavity on that. Coming in, just doing all kinds of damage. Tearing way down in there. It's a nasty looking cut right there. Same with this top part. See if I can lay it a little bit more flat. But same up here, just coming in, ripping this stuff off. Really nasty cuts down in there. Those petals were super sharp when they were coming back, so it was definitely doing some damage. Same thing with this top one. Came in, dumping all its energy within that first few inches, and just tearing way down in here. Pretty impressive for that one though. So there was that tan box. All right, here's that cross section for the black box. Same thing, coming in, just massive damage, cutting and tearing. And that one was pretty wide. I don't believe it was as wide as the tan box, but still pretty impressive, super deep cuts down in there. So we're going to cut it in half. All right, and here's top and bottom. So same thing with this one. Looks like we got quite a bit of cloth, or that cotton t-shirt that came in. Blew quite a bit of it inside. Quite a few fragments too, lead fragments. We have a couple right here, but then there's quite a bit still in there. And then this one, really tiny pieces that are in there. Can't really see them, but same thing, super deep cuts in all these. This one's really deep right here. Goes way down in there. And there was that other side. And this one, same thing, came in probably 1/4 inch and just massive damage, super deep cuts. Just ripping this gel up. So those are both pretty impressive. This one was a little bit slower, but the amount of damage that it created was still pretty bad. There we go. Black Box Ranger T.